Good day everyone, I'm Teacher Romel, your partner in today's lesson.
Welcome to ICT CSS Grade 9.
Our lesson for today is all about correct specifications from relevant sources. Our objectives are the following. At the end of the lesson, the students should be able to A. Discuss the correct specifications from relevant sources. B. Select the right specifications of computer components. And C. Appreciate the importance of knowing how to choose the correct specification of computer components. Below is the link for the Quarter 2 Module 2. You will copy or type the link using your web browser so that you can download your Quarter 2 Module 2. Okay, prior to the main lesson, the main topic, please answer the pre-test to determine your prior knowledge about the lesson. Matching type. Match column A with column B. Write only the letter of the correct answer on the blank provided before the number. Okay, we'll give you time to answer. Pause the video when answering. Okay, for the answer of the matching type, the item number 1 here is letter B. Item number 2 is letter D. The item number 3 is letter E. And item number 4 is letter C. And item number 5 is letter A. For item number 1, letter B, that is data storage capacity. Letter D for number 2 is memory speed. And number 3, letter E, is the cache. And number 4, letter C, is integrated graphics processing unit or the GPU. And then number 5, letter A, is the specification. Okay, for the recap of the previous lesson, what does its acronym stands for? Write your answer on the space provided before, provided together with its unit of measurement, meaning you will write the complete name of the item number 1 to item number 5 on the first column, and the second column will be the unit of measurement. Pause the video when answering. Okay, for the answer of the recap of the previous lesson, CPU number 1, CPU stands for the Central Processing Unit. The unit of measurement is Hertz. Number 2, RAM or the Random Access Memory. The unit of measurement is bytes. Number 3, DVD or Digital Video Disc. The unit of measurement is bytes. The HDD or the hard disk drive. The unit is bytes, and VC is known as the video card. That is, the unit is frame per second. Okay, let's go to the lesson proper. Okay, we have here the word specs. The term specs comes from the word specification or the shortcut of the word specification. Specifications are requirements of computers for technical details of components and functionality of the computer. Meaning to say, specification is your guide in order to choose what is the better computer to use. Okay, that is specification. This include information concerning the speed, the power, the memory, the graphics, and others. So meaning to say, your guide in order to choose the better computer to use is you look for the speed, the power, the memory, the graphics, and others. Okay, let's go to the correct specifications from relevant sources. Okay, first thing here is the memory. Okay, memory. In terms of memory, there is one module or parts of the computer which is known as the RAM, and RAM is measured in both megabytes or MB and gigabytes or GB. The amount of RAM a computer requires depend on the software it needs to run efficiently. So meaning to say, the better functionality of the computer is depending on the RAM. Sometimes you have what we call complaints with regards to the functionality of the computer. Sometimes your computer slows down, especially when you open more applications. Why it slows down? Because it depends on the response of the RAM. Okay? Then a computer running XP or Windows XP will work with 1 gigabyte of RAM, meaning to say the requirement of the Windows XP is only 1 gig, minimum of 1 gig. Lower than that, possibly the Windows XP operating system computer will not work properly or not work at all. Whereas for computers running Windows 7, a minimum of 2 gig will do, meaning to say higher than Windows XP. The specification of Windows 7 is higher than Windows XP. So you have to buy a RAM which is compatible to Windows 7 at least 2 gig. Okay, because Windows 7 is used for networking. Now for the performance requirements of the memory, look for the following. Number 1, we have here the speed, typically expressed in megahertz or MHz. Number 2, the timing, generally known as the CAS or the column axis stroke. And number 3 is the volt or voltage. Okay, for most DDR4, or we call that one as double data rate for modules, the memory speed ranges from 2133 megahertz to 3200 megahertz. That is the DDR4. Example of technical specification. By the way, the picture here on the right side, upper right, is an example of a RAM. The RAM that is GDIC standard. Okay, the specification of that RAM is DDR3 speed grade, that is only 1333 megabytes per second or Mbps. Unbuffered DIMM with 240 pins. You have noticed on the lower part of the RAM, we have here the color yellow or gold. that is bronze. Below it is the pins, counted 240 pins. Next, memory organization, that is times 8 FPGA DRAM chip. Then DDR3 DRAM interface is STL15. The cache latency is 999, that is the code. Then the bandwidth, in terms of giving data, is at least 10,660 megabytes per second. Okay, next one, we have here the processor. Okay, you have seen here the picture on the right side. Hold by the two fingers, that is an example of the processor. Take note, the processor is inserted to the CPU socket. Okay, and processor is the brain of computer. Okay, the CPU or the central processing unit or processor is integrated electronic circuit which carries out the calculations running a computer. Meaning to say, the main function is to calculate everything as the computer operates. Processor execute arithmetic, okay, basic math. Then we have here the mathematics. Then we have here the input and the output, meaning to say, you can give a command inward, then the computer can create functions or instructions outward or the output. Example of the input is just simply typing any key on the keyboard, that is input. Then it will be processed by the processor. That key will come out to the screen, okay, with the command of the processor. Then the output, one example of that is if you type Control P, it will then click next or OK, it will print. The output is the printing. Next, the other simple instruction passed from operating system. Then the speed of the processor chip of a computer is known as the clock speed in gigahertz. Take note, the unit of the clock speed for the central processing unit is gigahertz, with the latest modern processor operating at 4.7 gigahertz currently. Meaning to say, a lot of data. Next, the picture that can be seen on the right with different colors is the inside part of the central processing unit, which is what we call the core. The core is the complex circuit of the central processing unit. The connections of the core is just like the hair of as big as our hair, or finer than hair. That is why the central processing unit is the most expensive part of the computer, because it contains gold metal for the circuit. Okay, gold metal, and gold metal is more pliable than other metals. Since the functionality of the multi-core processors have become more popular and software has developed to use multi-core technology, meaning to say the core is multi-layered, not only one layer but 2 or more layers. Some are 8, okay, or some are only 2, Some are 4, 6, 8, and others higher than that. Then there are some options to choose from. We have here the dual core to 8 core processor. Dual core meaning 2 layers of core only up to 8 layers of processors. Then we have here the core family of the processors includes Core 2, Core i3, Core i5, and Core i7. The last of which is the most popular, which is the Core i7, faster processor. Next one, we have here the cache. Okay, cache is the form of the very fast memory channel that is inserted to the processor chip and used to store instruction to slow down as little as possible between tasks. Slow down, the instruction is to slow down the possible between tasks, meaning to say it will not necessarily stop, but it will only slow down the process. One example of the cache is when you type 3-letter word, prior to completing that one word, 5 to 7 letters word, you maybe have typed 3 letters. Automatically it will come out suggested options of words. Okay, so that is an example of a cache. A cache measures in megabytes or MB, with low-end Celeron processors having as little as 0.25 MB of cache or 256 GB. The high-end Itaniums with up to 24 MB. Okay, next one, the one you see on the right side are the two types of CPU socket. We have here the pin grid array used by AMD. Then we have here the LAN grid. First picture is the pin grid, meaning the socket has a very small hole so that the pins from the CPU will be inserted, fitted to that holes. While the LAN grid, the socket is opposite. Instead of hole, it has pin, while the central processing unit has contacts, metal of contacts. Okay. Socket compatibility enables the interface between the motherboard and its CPU. Okay, this is an interface between motherboard and its CPU. So CPU can function more to give any processes commands by using the socket. Can you imagine the CPU is complex? Next one, after you have already purchased a motherboard, confirm the processor mounted if it is compatible with its socket. Okay, next one, here on the picture is an example of GPU. Okay, that is integrated graphics processing units, or the GPUs. Is a designed to perform graphics related calculations. So more or less, the GPU is used for enhancing videos, especially when you do the gaming, or enhance the features of the game, the visuals of the games. If the processor does not have an integrated GPU, the computer still display graphics if there is a separate graphics card, or if the motherboard offers an onboard video. In other words, when you buy a computer or a desktop computer, there is already a built-in GPU. But to enhance more your graphics, the video, in-game, and others in movies, you have to add another module, which is the integrated graphics processing unit or the GPU. Next, the frequency. Okay, the frequency is the CPU frequency is measured in hertz. The unit is hertz, take note. It is the speed the CPU that runs while working. So meaning to say frequency, when you heard the word frequency, meaning you are talking about the speed of the CPU. If the CPU architecture operates a lower frequency, it will potentially work better than a processor running at a higher frequency. Okay, next. Okay, we have here the picture on the right. Okay, we have here on the middle, we have here the North Bridge and the South Bridge. Okay, let's start with the South Bridge on the picture. The HDD is connected with the South Bridge using the ATA bus, or we call that one as Advanced Technology Attachment. That is in the form of wire, ribbon wire connected to the South Bridge. Then the South Bridge connected to the North Bridge, then connect with the CPU by using the front side bus. The other one on the picture, we have here the network interface. Network interface is a module for networking so that the other computer can connect this computer using the PCI bus up to the South Bridge. And we have here the video card connected to the North Bridge by the AGP bus. Then the RAM is connected using the memory bus going to the North Bridge. All of them, in order to send instruction going to the CPU, and as well as the CPU give output going back to the other parts as mentioned, that is connected with the use of the front side bus. Okay, what is front side bus or FSB? FSB is the communication interface that acts as the major link. Take note, major link between the CPU and the system memory with the other parts of the chipset and the motherboard. As you have noticed, memory bus, in order to get data from the memory using the memory bus connected to the North Bridge, South Bridge going to the HDD. Likewise, same with the network interface, memory bus, North Bridge, South Bridge, then going to the network interface. Memory going to the video card using the EGP, and memory connected to the North Bridge going to the CPU by the front side bus. FSB speed is measured in hertz and is also expressed as ratio to CPU speed. So as mentioned here, the unit of FSB is hertz. Same unit with the CPU speed or the frequency. Now it can range from 66 megahertz to over 800 megahertz. For example, a processor running at 2.4 gigahertz with an FSB of 400 megahertz would have a CPU to FSB ratio of 6:1. Technical specifications. So we have here the essentials, product collections, processor number, performance, number of core, max turbo frequency, cache, TDP, number of threads, bus speed, processor base frequency. Under the product collection, we have here the 7th Gen Intel Core i5 and the processor number i5-7400. Performance. For the performance, we have the number of cores, of course 4. Max turbo frequency 3.5 GHz, cache 6 MB, TDP 65 watts, number of threads 4. You have noticed that the number of cores is the same number of threads. Bus speed is 8 GT per second. Processor base frequency is 300 or 3.00 GHz. Let's go to video card. On the picture, we have 2 video cards. Okay. The name implies video cards are being used to enhance the what? The graphics. That is also a graphics card known as graphics card, display adapter, video board, or video controller. A video card is an expansion card that connects to a computer motherboard. So meaning to say it's inserted to a slot. Okay. Next one. It is a piece of hardware inside the computer that processes images and videos. Take note, if you are going to view the picture and the video, the image and the videos are being enhanced by the video card. The more efficient the GPU, the faster information will be shown and better overall visual experience will be displayed. So faster. Take note if the GPU is faster, you will experience a very good visual. Next, we have here the data storage. Data storage capacity is measured in bits and bytes. Okay, the common type of computer storage or memory devices, we have here the hard disk, the RAM, the ROM, the CD-DVD, the floppy, memory card, pen drive, and the tape. I think the old one here is the floppy and the tape. Okay, we have here the basic units. A bit is smallest unit of data, either 0 or 1. Byte, 8 bytes. Kilobyte consists of 10 to 4 bytes denoted as KB. Megabyte, 1024 kilobytes stated as MB. Gigabytes, 1024 megabytes called as GB. Terabytes or TB. Petabyte or PB. Exabyte or EB. Zettabyte or EB or ZB, I think, correction. Then yottabyte or 1000 zettabyte. Okay, this is an example of a small data storage device. Is a standard 4.7-inch compact disc, our CD, with a capacity of 80 minutes of audio and 650 megabytes to 700 megabytes of data. Best example of this, if you have 1 to 2 hours of movie, we have here disc 1 and disc 2. Unlike on the other type of disc like DVD, it comprises of at least 10 movies in one disc. In case of compact disc or the CD, 2 CDs for one movie. While an example of big data storage device is a hard drive that can hold 1 terabyte of data. Nowadays, the capacity of the hard drive is 1 terabyte. To easily picture out how much data is stored, consider the illustration below. Okay, for 1 byte or B, in terms of object, a single letter or number. So 1 byte comprising just like a single letter, let's say letter A, or 1 number. That is 1 byte. Next one is 100 kilobytes or KB, a low resolution picture, meaning to say maybe your picture is blurred, your picture is snowy, your picture is quite dark, that is 1000 kilobytes. 1 megabyte or MB is just like a short paperback book. Okay, 1 short paperback book. Next one, 1 gigabyte, that is 1 pickup truck full of books. You need to say that is the capacity of 1 gigabyte. It's just like 1 pickup truck full of books. 1 terabyte is just like 50,000 trees worth of printed paper. So 50,000 trees are being cut down to have to produce printed paper. Okay, now let's go to activities. For activity number 1, on your answer sheet, directions, give the following specifications. Write the name of the components or device. So we have here item number 1 to number 5. Okay, name that components opposite on the space provided to the right. Pause the video when answering. Next, activity number 2. Inside the figure, we have here the laptop, and the product descriptions of the laptop is Intel Core i3, then 4 gigabytes DDR3, then 1 terabytes HDD, then 4 HDD, then 1 Intel HD Graphics 4400, 8 times DVD Super multi-double layer drive. Then we have your Windows 8.1 64-bit single language storage. Now all of that product description, you have to classify whether in item that is in item number 1, item number 2. Item number 1, by the way, is the memory. Item number 2 is the processor. Number 3, monitor. Number 4, video card. Then hard disk drive. So on the space opposite on the right, you will write those product description, whether it's item 1 to 5. Pause the video. Okay, to wrap up. Okay, answer the question. In buying a computer, what are the factors that we need to consider and why? Pause the video when answering. Okay, now to sum up with the lessons what you have learned, answer the post test. This is identification. Identify the following sentence. Write your answer on the space provided before the number. Pause the video when answering.
That ends our lesson. Thank you.